everyone, Paul Elam here with paulelam.com, and I am joined as always by the immeasurably wonderful Tom Golden and by the absolutely fantastic Janice Fiamingo of Fiamingo Files. And this is Regarding Men, where we hold men in high regard and where red pill isolation comes to die. And I want to talk a little bit about that. And that's what our discussion here today is about. And it's kind of an involved history going on here. I've been studying movements ever since I decided to sort of come out publicly about men's issues. I looked at the history of movements, what has worked in the past, what doesn't work in the past, what makes things grow. And one of the lessons I've learned about the men's movement, among many hard ones, and the hard ones are many, we have always had a difficult time organizing in the men's movement. There's tends to be infighting, friction, things like that, a disparity of missions and opposing viewpoints. But I started watching some time ago the people in India, the men's rights advocates in India, who do such an amazing job of organizing. I mean, they really do put the West to shame in terms of organizing. And I've had many extensive conversations with Anil Kumar, one of the more prominent men's rights figures in India. And what he shared with me was really a fascinating concept. I felt kind of dumb for not having even considered it in the past. But he said what they did in India was that they put the focus on providing service to men. That if you provide service to them, that the activism in India rose organically from men coming together, being provided service. That we had to give them something to benefit from, not just come here and do some work, but here, come here, here's something that can actually be a plus in your life. And they have many, many community groups and doing all kinds of things together that aren't activism related. But the thrust being that you look at what the needs are there for men, what's going on. And, you know, men are red pill in India too, and they're isolated. They have red pill rage, red pill loneliness, all the other things that come with sort of revising your view of the world and feeling isolated. And the Indians said, well, if they're isolated, isolation is a problem. Why don't we give them community? And wow, what a concept. Instead of saying, why don't you come over here and sacrifice your reputation and put your neck on the chopping block for men's issues right out of the gate when you're still wounded and limping from your experience in family court. And lo and behold, that worked. And so that for me, as I have worked this past year, a little over a year with Tom and Janice on doing Regarding Men, that's been in my mind about, you know, where can we ultimately take this? And Tom and Janice have absolutely made their contribution to that. And here we are after a year of this, about to relaunch Regarding Men with using groups, men's meetings as a basis for community connection. Let's see, we have modeled this on Tom and mine's Patreon groups, which have been going for a couple of years strong now and have been growing. As a matter of fact, there's all kinds of expansion going on in that, and we're going to be carrying that momentum into this. But the idea is if you give men a place where they can talk about their lives without looking over their shoulder, without worrying about who's going to judge them and what sort of censors are around or what the consequences are going to be. Because, I mean, you look at cancel culture, the world we live in, you talk the truth about your life as a man, that might be it for you. Danger. Your career can be toast. Your family relations, even all kinds of things can go south on you by simply telling the truth. So what we did was we created an environment where men could look at each other and tell the truth. I know it sounds oversimplified, but it really is that simple. And that has, I think I've seen in the groups that I've been doing, fundamental change in the men in there. they're accomplishing more with their lives. They're feeling better about themselves. They have a place to go once a week or twice a week where they can sit and talk about their lived experience truthfully and honestly and get support from other men, which was, I mean, if you talk to newly converted red pill guys in this world, their stories fit a universal pattern of rejection, of abandonment. What they will tell you is, during my divorce, my own family turned against me.
Yep.
She got a hold of them, and the next thing I know, my brother and my father are condemning me. My mother's condemning me. I had problems at work. She called my employer. All these things happen. And so it understandably makes men gun shy to talk about these things, especially in public. But we give them a confidential, secure setting where they can reach out to other men with the same experience. Then there's some magic that happens there. And if you're watching this, we're launching this effort right now. This is the introduction, what you're seeing right now. You'll be able to go to regardingmen.com and sign up for our newsletter. You can sign up for membership there. And we have, at this point, almost 7 days a week of group availability for men only. And you will find this available right now. And I think this is going to be, I know for the guys that I've been working with these past 2 years, they say that these groups have been life-changing. And I mean, all of them. We don't have anybody in those groups that are saying, I'm not getting anything out of this. Everybody agrees this is something very positive in their lives. So with that, I'm going to throw the floor open to Thomas.
Thomas.
Thomas, get it?
Thomas, doubting Thomas. I'm really excited to get these groups going and get more men the opportunity to have the experience that our guys have had. Because there's something very, very powerful about being heard. And that's one of the things that in red pill isolation, you don't have. No one hears what you're thinking and saying. I mean, they can't tolerate it. But when you get other people around you who can hear your story, who understand what's happening to you, and actually give you some really good feedback based on their own story, their own experience, good things happen, Paul. Really good things happen. I mean, after a while, you start to get to know all the other guys in the group. You get to know them, they get to know you, and you look forward to finding out what happened to him this week, and they look forward to find out what happened to you. And it's that kind of thing that helps men to be able to weather most any storm. Now with the coronavirus crap, I mean, it's even worse, because we're cut off even farther.
Yeah.
So, I'm really excited about these groups and getting things going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the isolation and alienation can be very profoundly damaging, I think. And I find just being with people where you have a shorthand, where you can talk about things and know that people understand. You don't have to explain. Others aren't going to get defensive and start, challenging you or giving you the blue pill orthodoxy. And, sometimes when you're just hit by this barrage constantly of negative messaging in the media telling you that your perceptions are so far out of the norm, that everybody knows that this is true and what you're saying is simply the product of a disordered mind, that you must hate women, you're full of resentment and anger, and you're a danger to your society because you reject certain of the fundamental tenets of the society. I mean, it can be so frustrating and dispiriting. And so to be able to talk to people about that and know that they understand and that they've had the same experiences is incredibly positive.
I think it's also important to note that with these groups, not only does the isolation abate because of the video connection, because you are face-to-face with people in these meetings. You can, by the way, you can be anonymous. You can use any name you want. You don't have to ID yourselves in the groups. But what a lot of this has led to is real-world connection.
Mm-hmm.
We have guys in my groups that are forming friendships that are just happen to be within, close proximity to each other in the physical world. And they meet and do things together. I mean, you think about this, I can tell just from the comments to my videos, the repetitious comments over and over and over again of feelings of being disconnected, of isolated, of not fitting in the world anymore, since they've changed the view of themselves, they've changed the view of women, they've changed their view of other men, of everything. And they feel like outcasts, and they are.
Yes, exactly.
Red pill people are not welcome in a
Yeah.
blue pill world.
Mm-hmm.
They're expressly forbidden in many ways.
Yeah.
But I think it's also very positive that we have real world connections. That these are guys that can
Yes.
go have a beer, go do things with each other, maybe go fishing, do whatever. But they don't feel crazy anymore because now they're around people that think and perceive and feel like they do. And that's there's magic in that.
Priceless.
Yeah. One of the other things I'm really happy about with the new site is that it's going to be an opportunity for mostly men to share their insights. And one of the things that I have found over the years is having people email me, sometimes with accounts of experiences they've had, but more and more actually with really brilliant analyses of things that are going on, often that you don't really see very much of. I mean, we write, all of us, and there are others out there who are writing really important and really insightful things, but there aren't a lot of people around. And sometimes, I write back and say, I wish you weren't just sharing this with me, because I'm blessed to read it and it's giving me ideas. Sometimes I steal those ideas permission for videos and stuff, but I want those people to be able to share them much more widely, because a lot of these guys have incredibly penetrating understandings of facets of our society. It's obvious they've been thinking about these things for years. And so now we're going to have a forum where men can share their insights, either in little short chunks or even in full-length essays if they want to develop their ideas. And so that's really neat too.
Yes. And along those same lines, Janice, I agree with you. That's been my experience with the people that I hear from in the red pill community. Very, very intelligent, insightful lot. And then also you see that expressed in the groups in the form of feedback that people are given and insights. I mean, these guys, most of the guys in any one of my groups would be better group facilitators than most of the therapists I've ever known in my life.
I bet. Yeah.
They are very skilled. For instance, we don't have very many rules other than, please keep things in confidence. Don't take what happens in a group out into the real world. About the only other rule that I try to enforce is no shaming. And guess what? Almost never does that ever come up. These men intuitively know not to shame each other, even if they have differences in the way they operate in the world, the way they perceive things. They may have religious differences. They may have differences in, the way they perceive women or whatever, but they don't shame each other. They'll sometimes offer gentle dissent, but it's thoughtful and focused and intended to provoke people to think, not to offend them or to make them feel inferior, which is what a lot of these men are used to from expressing their ideas.
Yes. It's probably important to note too, Paul, that this is not therapy. We're not talking about therapy groups here where we go, oh, well, you and this. That's bullshit. That's not what these are. These are simply check-in groups. At least mine are, Paul, where you come in and you check in. You say, this is what happened to me this week. Oh, no shit. That's all it is. So guys, don't feel resistant to coming to something like this because it's easy. In fact, if you wanted to come and not say anything at all, that'd be fine too. That'd be fine. So these are check-in groups. This is not therapy crap.
Well,
So
and that's important to know because, you know, it's not only just a check-in group, but also if you need to come in and talk about the fact that you're struggling with an ex who's alienating your children,
yes,
that's a heavy conversation. And,
yes,
but trust me, these groups can handle that.
yep. Because most of them have been through it.
Exactly. They've
You
either
know?
been through it or they have enough basic empathy to understand what you're going through and to be
Yes,
supportive about it.
yes,
And it does open up a new world for men when they finally stumble into a place that all of a sudden their problems matter
yes.
to
No
a whole
shit.
group full of people
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
who listen attentively and can offer suggestions and support or just listen.
And it's very moving for men when they realize that. You know, I've seen men just the tears start to flow, you know, when you realize, holy shit, these guys give a shit, you know?
Yep.
It's like a realization that wham, it hits you. It's a good thing to have, guys. It's a really good thing to have. You will not feel so isolated when you have people who care about what the hell's going on with you in your life, you know? So that's
Absolutely.
critical stuff. And we're going to have what we call a cyber shed, which is like a Zoom meeting that's open 24 hours a day, where if you wanted to, you could go to the forum and ask who wants to meet, you know, or find someone who's interested in the same kinds of things you are and say, let's meet at 1 a.m. New York time. And boom, you could go to this URL and you could be there anytime you wanted to. And so that's open all the
pretty
time.
cool.
Then we'll
That's
have
very cool.
scheduled groups, which Paul's going to lead 2. I think I'm leading 2. Janice is going to lead 1. And there's some other groups that are starting too, I think, right off, Paul.
Yep.
But
We have 6 groups starting off.
and we're hoping to get it up to about 3 a day, so that at any day you could have 3 choices to have a group that's open to you, boom, just like that. So
Another thing guys will like about these are they are, just to make it clear for everybody, these groups are men only.
yes,
This is a no girls allowed situation. Well, except
for
Janice.
Janice.
Janice can come in, but the group, and that's because the group is not for Janice. The group is for the men in it. All the
Right.
groups are for the men in them. And we know a lot of you guys are just like Tom and I are huge fans of Janice Fiamingo.
Yes.
And you're going to want access to be in her groups, and that's fine. And maybe someday down the road, we'll have groups for women that are separate, and that's fine if that happens. But regarding men is always going to be first and foremost about men.
Yep.
And men only.
Yep.
And you know, there's probably going to be some people that will criticize that. I'll just let you imagine how many fucks I don't give are stored in my garage.
Indeed. And we'll have the forum that Janice was talking about. One of the things on the forum is you'll have a profile, your own profile, and you can leave it blank if you want to, or you can populate it with different things like the interests you have in life, like motorcycles, guns, etc., or interests like other men's interests, like parental alienation, false accusations, stuff like that, and choose the ones that are most important to you. And you can say, well, I'm also from Los Angeles, and then there'll be a special search box to be able to find people who have similar interests. So that's one of our hopes, is that this is going to help men, red-pilled men, to get together with other red-pilled men who are interested in fly fishing, you know? And by the way, you know, if you have a special interest like that, we'll start a forum on the forum, a sub-forum for that interest. You just got to let us know what you want, and we'll crank that guy right up. And if they come, that's good. If they don't, so what? We're all right.
Also, there is a great PDF library of red pill literature, several books that you're going to find are very, very beneficial. That's a members only feature. Also, let me add here, let's talk a minute about, can we talk about the memberships a little bit?
We should.
Yeah, I think we should. First thing to say is that these are paid memberships, but we want you to know that if you're in dire straits, if you're financially, and a lot of guys come to red pill thinking with a hurting on their wallet.
Yes.
It absolutely does. We are not going to prevent anybody from getting in here and getting involved in all these groups and all these features throughout the site, just like anybody else, whether you have money or not. There's a special application that you just fill out a form and let us know, and it gives you 90 days of free time on the site, and then we reevaluate to see if you're doing any better at the end of that 90 days and can afford a membership, or if we need to extend it, which is no problem. Basic membership is $5, and I mean, that's
per month.
$5 per month. That's a trip to Starbucks. And
half a trip to Starbucks.
Yeah, these days.
Yeah, really.
There's also a $10 a month membership, which is the next level up. And that is if you want to not only join, but you want to contribute extra by sponsoring another member. This is how we'll pay for these free memberships, is people who sign up for $10 memberships. The next level up is, I think, $49. That's for individuals who simply want to help us build and grow this thing. And, you know, we've been working on this, by the way, for a year. And it will take years more work to get it to where we want it to be. And if you want to help with that effort, that $49 membership is one of the best things you can do. If that's the sort of thing you can afford, and if you believe in this mission strongly enough that you want to get behind our work, I encourage you to consider that option. And all of this, it will be linked below for you to go to. And then finally, if you want to really dig in and sponsor the growth and development of this website, you can contact us individually for increments in larger amounts, and we'll be happy to discuss that with you individually. But that basically breaks down the membership package. Goes everything from free up to, if you want to give us $1 million, we'll be very happy to take that. Don't expect that this week, but whatever level that you want to help us accomplish this, keep in mind, we're talking 3 groups a day. That's 1,000 groups a year. Over 1,000 groups a year. That is near universal access for men all over the world to relieve red pill isolation. Our second tagline now is where red pill isolation comes to die. That's what we want to do. We want to kill red pill isolation in the world. We want to make it a thing of the past, or at least it can be voluntary. If you want to be isolated, you've got that option. But we want men in this world to know that if they have taken red pills, if their life has changed, if they've read Myth of Male Power or one of Tom's books or any of this stuff, Janice's videos has served as a gateway to a lot of men to come in and re-examine their lives. If that's happening for you, we want you to know that your being alone during that process is voluntary. You don't have to be. We are going to provide a platform that ameliorates that problem on an ongoing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week basis. And I'm personally very excited about us getting together. I'm with 2 very fine people here to put this out there to the world.
And vice versa.
Me too.
And there's so much more that we haven't talked about that's on there. You know, just the library page has, I think, 6 books now that you can read. One's my book on the way men heal. Janice's book is there, and there's 4 others that I can't remember right off the bat. I think one by Moray Alager. So there's good books there you can read online. Boom. There's articles. Then there's these, Janice, Paul, and I each picked 15 videos that we thought were our best. And Paul picked 25, but that's another story altogether. But so we've got galleries of those videos that each of us thought were our best ones that you can watch in that gallery and see which ones they were. You may be surprised at what we picked. There's some great videos there. Yeah, and then there's more.
You've watched all of our videos in the past. You may be mistaken. You may find videos in those playlists that you haven't seen.
Exactly. And there's more to it than that. I mean, there's galleries. All of Paul and my Red Pill Relationships videos will be online there for any member. And that's been only Patreon before now. So I think we're up to what, 47, 48, Paul? And those are pretty good little videos on red pill relationships. You know, how does the red pill function in a relationship? What can you do? What's your responsibility? How can you make it work? And there's so much more, you know, I just, I'm excited about it.
Like you said, there's a forum for just a standard forum format, which you'll find, but with direct messaging, where you can find people from your area, that sort of thing. And there's more to come with this. I mean, we've just released the bare bones features, and we anticipate doing a lot more.
Webinars.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have a monthly webinar for members only.
Reading groups, things like that.
And I'm hoping that in the future, we'll be able to start doing some activism together, you know, like billboards. I've always wanted to put up billboards, you know, men are good. Boom, just throw it out there. Just freak people out. Anyway,
imagine all the fender benders that's going to cause.
But there's lots we can do, and we're looking forward to meeting all of you and having all of you there.
Absolutely. This is about providing service to the red pill community.
Yes.
I mean, and the motto in the past, I mean, I've done it, everybody has done it. We have created content designed to make people think and to reach out to people. And of course, in that, we want to attract an audience and gain more views and all the stuff that comes with standard web marketing. But this is different. This is a service that we want to bring to red pill men.
Yeah, and
want you to feel alone anymore.
We wish we could do it for free, but the more we looked at it, the more we studied, the more we realized we can't do it for free. You know, we just can't. And so it's expensive. This is not a cheap thing to do. So
no, it's not. And it is an investment of a lot of time, and has been, like I said, we've been on it for a year, and we're just now launching.
Yes, and hopefully it'll be a smooth launch.
Oh, also, by the way, I've got to say it. If any of you guys want to make a one-time donation, there's a link down there too for that. If you want to support us in that way.
Yeah.
But that, I think, is pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing everybody there.
Yeah. Yeah. And give us feedback below and let us know what you think or what any ideas you might have, and join up. You know, if you go to Regarding Men now, the very top of the page, you'll see a picture of I think it's 5 or 6 guys lifting up a big, what do you call it?
Barbell.
Not a barbell, but the side of a building, basically.
Oh, and, side of a building.
Click that and you can join. Or look at the text to the right and there's Join Us Now. You can click that to join us. So come on and join us.
And if you have any problems joining us, let us know in the comments. We're going to be watching studiously. By the way, I probably should have said this at the beginning, because this is really an advertisement for Regarding Men. I have quit putting videos on YouTube. I've got disgusted with them, but I do use them for advertising. So this video will be going up on my YouTube channel.
That's a good idea.
To get out to as many people as possible. I'm sure you'll also see it on Janice's and Tom's channels.
Right.
But anyway, that's it. We are launching Regarding Men. We really do hope you'll join us. And we also hope that you will help us reach men across the world, guys from India, the UK, Australia. One of the things that we're going to be doing in the future, after we get this core stabilized that we've just built, we're going to be reaching out for other people to do groups from different localities, from the UK, from India, from Australia. We'll look at your experience and your desire. Believe me, red pill wisdom is much more preferable than mental health experience in something like this. It's absolutely. So if you're interested in that down the road, I mean, don't hit us with it right now, but after we get things stabilized, we begin the process of building these groups to 3 a day. And that's going to require a lot of effort, and it will require people from the red pill community who have the desire to host groups to become participants in that. And we'll look forward in the future to talking to you about that too.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Jolly good. Jolly good.
And with that,
we will end by saying,
men
are
good. Indeed they are. You all take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.